Welcome back the rare and valuable coins today. We're diving deep into the world of silver Washington quarter dollars. But not just any quarters. We're talking about the ones that sold for thousands of dollars at auction. So let's get started first. Up the 1981 Washington quarter dollar coin from the United States, featuring the large date and a D mint mark. This particular coin is not in mint condition. It has a dark black color shade, shows clear signs of being dirty, and has visible scratches. While it might not shine like a freshly minted piece, every coin has a story to tell. And today, we'll explore the story behind this one, its background, its features, and most importantly, its value in today's coin market. The Washington quarter has been a part of American currency since 1932. It was originally introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. For many years, these quarters were made of 90% silver. However, that changed in 1965 when the U.S. Mint stopped using silver for circulating quarters and switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition. So even though the 1981 Washington quarter may look silver at first glance, it is in fact not made of silver. It is a clad coin with an outer layer of copper-nickel and a core of pure copper. This change was made to reduce costs and conserve the nation's silver reserves. The coin in question today was minted in Denver. As indicated by the D mint mark located on the right side of the reverse of George Washington's neck, Denver Mint produced over 575 million of these quarters in 1981, making this one of the most common quarters of that year. The large date on this coin refers to the style of the numerals in the year. 1981, more spaced out than the small date versions, which are less common. This coin shows a blackish tone, likely from exposure to dirt, oxidation, or environmental factors over time. It's also in a clearly circulated condition, with surface scratches, wear on the edges, and a lack of luster. Many viewers may wonder if this kind of coin has any special value, especially when it has a unique look due to the blackened surface. The truth is, most 1981 D Washington quarters in dirty and scratched condition have very little added value in today's coin market. Because these coins are so common, especially from the Denver Mint, and because they do not contain any silver, they usually sell for face value around 25 cents. Sometimes, if the coin has an interesting toning pattern or a unique shade that a collector finds visually appealing, it might sell for slightly more, around 50 cents to $1, especially if listed as part of a group or collection. But generally speaking, a coin in this conditioned, dirty, scratched, and heavily circulated will not attract high bids at auction. On the other hand, uncirculated 1981D quarters that are in mint condition can sell for a bit more. Coins graded MS62, MS63 can sell for around $2 to $5. Very high-grade examples that have been certified by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, especially those graded MS67 or higher, can sell for $100 or more. The highest known prices paid for MS67. Examples of this coin have reached over $300 in certain rare cases. However, it's important to note that these coins are extremely clean, flawless under magnification, and typically stored properly since minting. There are also rare era coins from this year that have sold for significant amounts, such as coins mistakenly struck on silver planchettes or those with off-center strikes or double dies. If you suspect your coin might be an error coin, it's worth having it inspected by an expert or submitting it to a grading service. However, these errors are very rare and are not common among circulated coins found in everyday change. If you are looking to sell a coin like this, the best approach is to be honest in your description. Mention that it is a 1981 D Washington quarter with a large date, in circulated condition with dark toning, dirt, and visible scratches. Do not attempt to clean the coin as this can further damage it and reduce its value. Cleaning leaves behind microscopic scratches and removes the natural look that collectors prefer. Taking clear, high-resolution photos showing both sides of the coin under good lighting is the best way to present it in online listings or auctions. In conclusion, while the 1981D Washington quarter in black shade and dirty condition may not be a rare or high-value item, it still holds value as a piece of American history. Every coin tells a story. Next up, the 1969 United States Washington quarter dollar coin. This specific coin has a large date, no mint mark, and is in extra fine condition, although it does have some light scratches. We'll go through everything you need to know: its history, design, composition, and most importantly, its current value in today's auction market. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a part of U.S. coinage since 1932. Originally created to commemorate the 200th birthday of President George Washington, the design, featuring a portrait of Washington on the obverse, was meant to be a one-year commemorative issue. However, due to its popularity, it became a permanent part of the coinage and is still used today, though the designs have changed over the years. Now, turning our focus specifically to the 1969 quarter. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why there is no mint mark visible. Coins without a mint mark from that time typically came from Philadelphia, as the P mint mark was not yet used on quarters. The total mintage of the 1969 Philadelphia Washington quarters was over 176 million coins, making it a fairly common coin, though its value depends heavily on condition and any potential errors. One important note is about the metal composition. Some collectors believe all older-looking quarters are silver, but in reality, that's not the case with this one. In 1965, U.S. Mint stopped producing quarters with 90% silver content for regular circulation. The 1969 Washington quarter, like most U.S. quarters minted after 1964, is made from a copper-nickel clad composition. It has an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. So even though the coin may appear silver-colored, it contains no actual silver unless it is a rare mint error. This particular 1969 quarter has a large date, which simply refers to the size and boldness of the year numerals on the front of the coin. It is not considered a variety that affects value significantly, but it is still a notable detail for collectors who enjoy studying the small design changes over the years. Now let's talk about the condition. The coin you have is described as being in extra fine condition with some scratches. In coin grading terms, extra fine typically means that the coin has sharp details and light wear on only the highest points. Washington's hair, the eagles, feathers, and other key design elements should still be visible and relatively strong. The scratches mentioned may lower the value slightly, but as long as they are not too deep or damaging, the coin still retains collector interest. So, what is a 1969 Washington quarter in this condition worth in today's market? Condition. Most 1969 quarters are worth just a little over face value, usually around 30 to 75 cents. However, coins in extra fine condition, like yours, can fetch a bit more. On online auction platforms and coin trading sites, similar 1969 quarters, without mint marks and extra fine to about uncirculated condition, often sell for around $1 to $3. If the coin were in mint state condition, meaning no wear, and strong luster, could be worth between $5 and $15. And certified coins in higher grades like MS65 or MS66 can go for $25 to $100. Depending on the market demand, there are also some rare error coins from this year. For example, a 1969 quarter struck on a silver planchette by mistake would be extremely rare and could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But these are almost never found in circulated condition. If your coin does not have a copper-colored edge and instead has a solid silver color edge, it might be worth having it tested for silver content. Just to be safe, if you are thinking of selling this coin, it's best to take clear, detailed photos of both sides. Do not clean the coin under any circumstances, as cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce its value to collectors. List it honestly, describe the condition and scratches accurately, and note that it has no mint mark. You can list it on platforms like eBay or take it to a coin dealer for an in-person evaluation. To sum up, the 1969 Washington quarter dollar, without a mint mark, is a common but still collectible coin. In extra fine condition, despite the scratches, it can be worth around $1 to $3 in today's market. While it's not a rare coin, it's a solid example of American currency history and a nice addition to any circulated quarter collection. Next up, the 1968 United States Washington quarter dollar coin with a D mint mark. This coin features a dark black color shade, has been described as being in good condition, and shows some noticeable scratches. While it may appear silver in color, and may even feel heavy or old enough to seem rare, there's more to the story that every collector or coin owner should know. Let's take a deep dive into this coin's background, condition, and what it might be worth in today's collector market. To begin, let's look at the historical background of the Washington quarter. The design was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 100th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse, or front side, features a portrait of Washington facing left. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, making it one of the most iconic images in American coinage history. The reverse design during this time shows an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, a symbol of strength and peace. Now, focusing on the year 1968, this was an important time in U.S. coin production. Just 3 years earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint had ended the use of 90% silver in quarters and moved to a new copper-nickel-clad composition. This means that, although the 1968 Washington quarter has a silver appearance, it is not a silver coin, unless there was an extremely rare minting error. All standard 1968 quarters, including those with the D.E. mint mark, were made with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. So even though it may look silver, and even if it has a darker shade, it does not contain silver. The D mint mark, located to the right of Washington's ponytail, stands for the Denver Mint. In 1968, the Denver Mint produced more than 101 million quarters, which means this particular coin is not considered rare based on mintage numbers alone. Still, collectors do value these coins based on condition, eye appeal, and the presence of any minting errors. Now, let's talk about the appearance of your coin. You described it as having a black color shade, being in good condition, and having some scratches. The black color is likely a result of toning, oxidation, or long-term exposure to environmental conditions. This is quite common in older coins, especially those stored in humid places, near chemicals, or handled frequently over the years. While some types of natural toning can increase a coin's value, especially when the colors are even and attractive in most cases, dark and dirty-looking toning doesn't usually add any value and may even lower the coin's appeal to collectors. In terms of condition, the term good in coin grading usually means the coin has been well circulated. You might notice that many of the fine details in Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers are worn down. The edges may also be smoother, and any original shine or mint luster is likely gone. The scratches you mentioned are expected in coins that have been used in circulation for decades. While these don't ruin the coin, they do affect its value and grading. Most collectors are looking for coins with minimal marks and strong design features. So, how much is your coin worth today? A 1968D Washington quarter in good condition, with scratches and dark toning, is generally worth between 25 cents and 75 cents. In better condition, such as extra fine or about uncirculated, it might sell for up to $1 to $2. Uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS-65 and above by professional grading services, can bring in anywhere from $5 to $20, and in rare, perfect grades, even $100 or more. However, your coin, based on its good circulated condition with scratches and dark shade, would realistically fall on the lower end of that scale. If you're considering selling it, keep in mind that buyers look for honest listings. Be sure to describe the coin accurately, including its date, mint mark, condition, and toning. Also, never clean the coin. Cleaning may seem like a way to improve appearance, but it actually damages the surface and can cut the value in half or more. The best thing you can do is take clear, well-lit photos and offer it as part of a circulated coin lot or to collectors who enjoy aged and toned coins. Next up, the 1974 Washington $quarter coin from the United States. This coin has no mint mark, comes in extra fine condition, and has some minor scratches from circulation. Although it might appear to have a silver color, especially when held in good lighting or seen in photos, there are some important facts to understand about this particular coin that will help you evaluate whether it holds collector value and what it might be worth in today's auction market. Let's begin by understanding the basics of the Washington quarter, first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The Washington quarter quickly became a staple in American coinage. Its obverse side features a left-facing profile of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan. The reverse shows an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing strength and peace, a classic design that was in use until 1998. Now let's talk about the year 1974. During this time, the United States Mint was producing quarters using a copper-nickel-clad composition. This means that while the coin appears silver in color, it does not contain any real silver. In fact, the last regular issue silver quarters were minted in 1964. Starting in 1965, all standard quarters were struck with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The 1974 quarter, like others from this era, follows this clad formula. So, unless it's an extremely rare mint error or a special proof strike, which is highly unlikely without professional grading, your 1974 quarter does not contain silver. Your coin, being without a mint mark, was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 801 million Washington quarters. That's a very high mintage number, which means this particular coin is not rare. However, what makes a coin interesting to collectors isn't always just about how many were made. It's also about condition, errors, and eye appeal. You mentioned your coin is in extra fine condition with some scratches. In coin collecting, extra fine usually means the coin has been lightly circulated. You would still see most of the design details clearly. Washington's hair has good definition, and the eagle's wings and feathers on the reverse side remain visible. Light wear on the high points is acceptable, but the overall appearance should still be sharp. Scratches, however, do slightly reduce the coin's grade and value, depending on how visible they are and where they appear on the coin. Another thing worth considering is the possibility of special characteristics like die, cracks, doubling, or off-center strikes. While not common, certain error coins from the 1970s have been known to attract collectors. If you ever suspect that your coin has a mint error, it's best to get it evaluated by a reputable coin grading service such as PCG's or NGC. However, based on your description, it seems to be a standard example of a 1974 quarter, and not a recognized error. So what's this coin worth in today's auction? or collector market. A typical 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in average circulated condition, is worth about 25 cents. Basically, its face value. In extra fine condition, it may fetch slightly more, typically around 50 cents to $1. Coins that are uncirculated and graded MS-63 or higher can sell for between $2 and $5. The highest quality versions, especially those graded MS-65 or above, might bring in $10 to $20, depending on demand. But with scratches present, even if the coin looks nice overall, the value would likely remain closer to the lower end of the price range. Although this coin doesn't hold high monetary value, it still has great historical and collectible value. It's a piece of everyday American history that was used in commerce, travel, and everyday life more than 50 years ago. For beginner collectors or history lovers, coins like this are an affordable and meaningful way to start or expand a collection. They also serve as reminders of the era in which they were used, the early 1970s, a time of economic change, cultural shifts, and important events in American society. Finally, if you're thinking of selling or displaying the coin, remember to avoid cleaning it. Cleaning coins, especially with harsh chemicals or abrasives, can permanently damage the surface and significantly reduce the value. Collectors prefer coins in their original, untouched condition, even with scratches and signs of wear. So, while your 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark might not be a silver coin or a rare treasure, it still deserves a spot in any personal collection, especially in extra fine condition. Whether you're collecting for fun, learning about history, or saving for the long term, coins like this are a valuable part of the American numismatic story. Next up, the 1980 Washington quarter-dollar coin from the United States Mint. This particular coin has a D Mint mark. Placing its origin at the Denver Mint, it's described as being in fine condition, showing some light wear and scratches, and, interestingly, it has a silver-like color that might raise questions for many collectors and viewers. So let's unpack what makes this coin special, how it fits into the larger numismatic picture, and what value it might hold in today's market. First, a little background on the Washington quarter itself. This iconic coin was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a bold portrait of Washington facing left, while the reverse showcases a majestic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching a bundle of arrows above two olive branches. This design remained largely unchanged for decades and became one of the most recognizable U.S. coins in circulation by the year 1980. The United States was firmly using copper-nickel-clad coinage for quarters. Although your coin may appear silver in shade, it's important to clarify that regular 1980 Washington quarters are not made of silver. They are composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The result is a silvery appearance. But no actual silver content is present in circulating coins after 1964, unless your coin is a rare special edition, proof, or an error coin which would need to be professionally authenticated. It does not contain silver. Your coin carries a D Mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver. In 1980, the Denver Mint produced over 518 million Washington quarters. So, in terms of rarity, this coin is fairly common. However, that doesn't mean it's without value. Collectors consider several factors when assessing a coin's worth: condition, historical significance, eye appeal, and any unique minting errors or variations. Now let's talk about the condition of your coin. You described it as being in fine condition with some scratches. In coin grading, fine means the coin has moderate to considerable wear, but all major features are still clearly visible. Washington's portrait will show noticeable wear on the hair and jawline, And the eagle on the reverse might have some flattening on the wings or chest. Scratches are common on circulated coins and generally expected in this grade, though they can slightly reduce the value depending on their severity and placement, although your coin is not uncirculated and not considered rare by mintage numbers. Alone, there are some possibilities worth exploring. Occasionally, collectors seek out coins from 1980 with notable errors, things like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchettes. These minting mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's value, sometimes into the hundreds of dollars. However, error coins need to be evaluated by experts or third-party grading services like PCGs or NGC to confirm their authenticity and value. Let's now move to the part everyone's waiting for, the market value. Standard 1980D Washington quarter in fine condition, like yours, typically sells for around its face value, which is 25 cents. In some cases, dealers or collectors might pay a small premium, perhaps around 35 to 50 cents if the coin is visually appealing despite wear. If it were in very fine or extra fine condition, the value might reach up to $1 or $2. Uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS63 or higher, can sell for between $5 and $15. But again, with visible scratches and moderate wear, your coin most likely falls into the low end of the value spectrum. Now, if your coin's silver-like appearance is particularly bright or unusual, it could have been altered or cleaned, or it may even be a plated piece. While some people do plate common coins in silver or other metals for novelty purposes, these treatments are not original to the mint and do not increase the coin's numismatic value. In fact, altered coins often lose appeal with serious collectors, since authenticity is a key factor in the hobby. Still, even if the coin isn't especially rare or valuable in dollar terms, it remains a fascinating piece of everyday American history. It circulated during the early 1980s, a time of political and economic shifts, and may have passed through countless hands and cities before arriving in your collection. Holding a coin like this is like holding a small piece of a much larger story, and for many collectors, that history is what truly makes the hobby so rewarding. So, while your 1980D Washington quarter might not bring in high bids at auction, it does carry its own charm and significance. Whether you're collecting out of passion, curiosity, or just enjoying the hunt, coins like these help preserve and connect us to the past in a tangible way. Thanks for watching today's breakdown. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy coin videos like this one, and feel free to leave a comment with the next coin you want us to cover. See you in the next video.